Hello everybody, welcome back. We are going to celebrate the Chinese New Year. My name is Chef Rob, and this year it is the year of the ox. So we are going to make General Chow meatballs. They are really tasty. So we're going to start with 1 pound of ground beef. I'm using the 88% lean. Okay, so I'm just going to take that right here. I want a 1/4 cup of the panko. Try to use the panko. Give it a little crispiness, a little better texture in the meatball. So a 1/4 cup. Let's put that right in there. And then 1 egg. Put that in there, right there. Now we're going to cut up some scallions. I'm going to use 4 green scallions. Okay, these are actually pretty large, so I'm actually going to go with 2. Okay, but if they're very thin, you definitely want the 4. So I'm just going to cut these little tops right off here. They're a little tough. And now I'm just going to cut the roots off. The roots you can plant in your garden. There's nice soil, good soil, and a sunny spot, and you'll always have scallions. Okay, they'll just keep growing back. They're really good. And now I'm just going to cut these right down the middle, just like that. And now I'm just going to give them a little chop and add them into our meatball mixture. And then we are going to add some fresh garlic, 2 cloves of fresh garlic. The white part of the onion is very strong onion, and then it gets a little milder as you go along. Okay, so let's put this in to our meatballs. These have a really nice texture to it, nice taste. So I'm going to take the garlic, the fresh garlic, and just smash it on its side. And now just give it a nice small chop to it. Now we're going to add in some sesame oil, 1 teaspoon. Don't go over 1 teaspoon because sesame oil is very, very strong in flavor. And always check the sesame oil. Check it, give it a little smell, because sometimes if you haven't used it in a long time, it could turn a little rancid. So whenever you buy any of the oils, whether it's olive oil, vegetable oil, sesame oil, always buy the smallest one if you're not doing a lot of cooking, because it will go bad on you. Go right up against the side here. Okay, and now 1 teaspoon. So this has a big opening, so I do want to be careful. That's good. And now 1 teaspoon of fresh ginger. Whenever you buy the ginger, make sure it's very solid all the way around. Okay, buy the smallest piece. When you're in the store, you could just break off as much or as little as you want. I'm just going to take the peeler to it. You can use it with the skin on it, but just wash it very, very good. Fresh ginger is very strong, so you don't need a lot. So kind of just follow the recipe, 1 teaspoon worth. Put this on the side. Now I'm just going to grate this. It's going to stick on the back of here, but that's fine. You just take your finger and just kind of rub it right into the meatball mixture. And then we're going to mix this first, and then we're going to roll it into small little meatballs. You can make them into large, so if you want an appetizer or as a main meal. Okay, before we mix this, let's just add a couple twists of fresh ground black pepper and just a pinch of kosher salt. Now we're just going to take this mixture, mix it all up really well, and then we're going to make these into some mini meatballs. Perfect for the Chinese New Year. Boy, I can really smell all the Asian flavors with the soy sauce and the ginger that I have. The garlic goes all really good. You could do this with ground turkey, ground chicken as well. If you do like a softer meatball, just add a little bit more water to this mixture, and that would be good. Okay, time to roll the meatballs. And then we're going to roll them into some cornstarch, because the cornstarch will give them some a little body to it where it'll kind of have a glaze. Okay. So just about that size I think is perfect for an appetizer. And those will cook pretty quickly then. So we'll see how many we get out of this batch here. Remember, there's 1 pound of ground beef. And then we're going to cook these in some vegetable oil for frying. We're going to fry these meatballs. Okay, just about done rolling the meatballs. And we're going to put our cornstarch mixture on it. We're going to use about a 1/4 cup for all these meatballs. And let's see how many we got. We have about 8, we have 12, 16, 17 meatballs. So that's pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to take some vegetable oil, start heating this up. So I'm going to get this nice and hot. Just enough to kind of coat the bottom of the pan. And now what you can do is just kind of move that around. I'm going to take my 1/4 cup of cornstarch. Doesn't have to be exact, pretty close to it is good. And we're just going to kind of put this all over it, and then we're just going to kind of roll the meatballs in it. And here. So after these cook, we're going to let them go for about 3 minutes on each side. Okay, then we're going to drain the fat, so this way it's healthy as possible. If you are on a low salt type diet, you can always cut back on the chicken broth, the hoisin sauce, the soy sauce, because it does have a lot of salt in it, but it will have a lot of flavor. There we are. So these are perfect. So we're just going to wait for that oil to heat up really good. We're going to be adding some honey to this. We're going to add some apple cider, a couple red pepper flakes if you like a little bit of kick, some sesame seeds, soy sauce, and then hoisin sauce. Okay, you could always make your own hoisin sauce. About 8 ingredients in it. You can always Google a recipe. Sometimes it has peanut butter in there, so be careful if you have allergies. Okay, but it's a nice glaze to the meatballs. Okay, so nice size. Again, 17 meatballs. So if you were making larger meatballs, figure you would get closer to the dozen out of 1 pound. And this recipe is really easily doubled. And again, if you like them softer, just add a little more water to the base of the meatball mixture. Okay. Okay, starting to feel that heat. I want them to start to sizzle a little bit as soon as I put them in there. And we have so many more videos coming out. We have another Chinese one for the Chinese New Year. We're going to do dragon noodles with chicken and vegetables. We have some for Mardi Gras coming out. We just finished filming one for Valentine's Day, and then we're going to go right into Irish soda bread. Have a really good recipe for Irish soda bread. So look for our YouTube videos at all the different public libraries. Okay. Okay, this oil is nice and hot. Let me just drop these in here. Let them start cooking. Just kind of separate them a little bit. Just make sure the oil is all over the pan. You may just have to move it around a little. Sometimes the burners are off a little bit. We're just going to get them nice and golden brown. And 3 minutes each side. And after they're cooked, we're going to add in all our mixture to it, and it's going to become a nice glaze over these meatballs. Okay, let's turn these meatballs over. It's been about 3 minutes. Nice golden brown on it. Nothing like a fried meatball. Get the best results that way, especially even when you're making Italian meatballs. We're going to let these now cook for 3 minutes on the other side. And then I'm going to take some of this excess fat out of the pan, and then we're going to make our glaze for the meatballs. So now they've cooked 6 minutes total. So I'm just going to take these out. They're not fully cooked through, but they're nice and golden brown. I'm going to drain a little bit of the excess fat in here. And then we're going to add our remaining ingredients. And then we have to cook them for about 6 to 8 more minutes. And they'll be fully cooked through. Again, chicken or turkey meatballs with this would be fine. Okay. So I'm just going to put that in here. Okay. So I'm going to add some soy sauce to this. Soy sauce, I'm adding about 1/4 cup. And I'm going to add 1/2 cup of chicken broth. You can use the box chicken broth or you can make your own. Either one would be fine. I'm going to add a little apple cider vinegar, about 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. If you don't have the apple cider vinegar, rice wine vinegar would work well as well. A tablespoon of honey. This is going to start giving it its nice glaze. You can take the whisk and just kind of get all those flavors going together here. And now 2 tablespoons of the hoisin sauce. Very thick, very salty, but a lot of flavor. So take that a little bit. Okay, now that this is mixed in really well, I am going to add in the meatballs, and we're just going to let that simmer for about 6 minutes for this size meatball. Okay, and you can kind of turn the heat to medium high. It'll form a nice glaze on it. I'm just going to add a pinch of the red pepper flakes just for a little bit of heat. You don't need too many, but just a few. Make sure that gets tossed around really good. You can see it formed a really nice glaze on here. So now let's start plating our meatballs. You could just reheat these up in a microwave oven. If you have extra sauce and you make them the next day, you could use this sauce and just kind of make the meatball mixture. With a little white rice, this would be perfect. Okay, again we have 19 cocktail-sized meatballs out of 1 pound of ground beef. I'm just going to take this glaze now. Just kind of drizzle it all over the meatballs. And now just to finish it off, what we're going to do is take a little bit of sesame seeds. About 2 teaspoons worth you need. That's really it. Kind of just shake it out of the jar kind of gently. And then we're going to take our remaining 2 scallions, cut these ends off here, cut this part here, the tough greens, and now chop them on the smaller side, and just sprinkle these all over the meatballs, and then you have a delicious General Chow's meatballs. Just kind of mix the white and the greens together really good for color and presentation. So have a happy Chinese New Year, and I hope you enjoy the new dish that I've created for you. And thank you for always watching.